is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown, Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day, and I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Wow, this is it. This is the final Duck Insider.
Sad.
Until August 1st. We'll be back.
Oh, we'll be back.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
be back. It's
Okay,
not going
all right.
away. But until summer break, this is it. Yeah. We're happy to have you with us. Chris Clayton here with Jerry Allen, the voice of the Ducks. Duck Insider brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We're live at the Country Financial Studio. And it's amazing. You just look down at the calendar. It's already June 5th.
It goes so fast.
Yes.
I mean, life goes so fast. The older you get, the more you'll realize that. But, yeah, the season, because it's so good. Football was big. Basketball, I mean, every sport gave you a reason to be excited and look forward to the next game, the next week, and then the next sport. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, where did it go? It goes so fast. And it does because you're having fun. You're enjoying it, being a part of all that Oregon is. That's why I love being here.
There's a winning team to look forward to regardless of what time of year you're looking at.
Yeah.
And the team that is still going strong right now, of course, Oregon track and field and the NCAA championships coming up next week. Wow. But just at the very near future, looking ahead to tomorrow and this weekend, Oregon baseball is in the Super Regionals. We've been talking about it all week. You can't talk about it enough. I mean, there's so many storylines. It's so exciting, a massive opportunity for Mark Wasikowski and this Oregon baseball team as they play against the Longhorns in Austin tomorrow at 5 p.m. with a 4:45 p.m. pregame show on the Oregon Sports Network with Joey Mack and Ryan Milano on the call. And Sunday, they'll play at 6 p.m. with a Monday, if necessary, matchup. Later on in the program, we're going to hear from Ryan Cooney on his thoughts. He talked to the media earlier this week. And we'll also hear from Joey Mack from Austin on his thoughts breaking down the matchup. But I mean, just some of the big names, the big teams that are still alive in the Super Regionals, this is what you play for. These are the type of games that you look back on, and they're kind of legacy games for these programs, coaches, and players.
Oh, they are. But I think what's interesting about this, listening this week to the national media talk about the coming Super Regionals and who's going to be in it, what games and where, Oregon, Texas has been the highlighted game almost by everybody. Everybody's saying, I'm looking forward to this game. Oregon, Texas, that's the one they're looking at. And I think that's why ESPN puts them on primetime.
Mm-hmm. And that's Oregon, Texas in a lot of sports is that primetime marquee matchup. We were talking earlier in the week, just seeing those logos next to each other just brings goosebumps. I mean, this is a big-time matchup. And as we're talking about it throughout the week a lot, I mean, you look on paper at some of the stats, the accolades of these teams, very evenly matched. I'm getting the sense that there's going to be some real drama in the next couple days coming down to a few pitches, a few outs that's going to make or break this matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be a eighth inning, ninth inning, gut check. Oh, no, turn your head, can't watch, go to the bathroom, come back, and hope something good happens. That's what happens to me when I'm watching a game like that. It's like if I go away, something good will happen. But the records are 43-16 for Oregon, 43-13 for Texas. And you look at what they do pitching, what they do hitting, home runs, long balls, defense, two very equal teams. And so for me, Chris, it's going to come down to playing your best baseball, not making mistakes. Walks will kill you in a game like this. Miscues, errors. Play your best baseball at this time of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the Oregon offense is going to have the challenge of taking on, I mean, a lot of talented pitchers on this Texas rotation overall, but their superstar starter to look at, Dylan Volantis, has just been terrific, one of the best in the country, 9-1 record this year with a 1.94 ERA. So you start to kind of think, where do they start him? Do they start him on the first game on Saturday? Do they move him to Sunday? I mean, Oregon has aces in their own right. Yeah, they got Will Sanford, who's obviously been lights out this season. Cal Scolari as well. So I think both teams are having similar conversations that it's not going to be easy getting hits off these pitchers and these defenses. but it's probably going to come down to limiting mistakes. You don't want to gift base runners to the opposite team. You don't want to make errors in the field, because a few of those things catch up, the crowd gets into the game, and that can be the difference.
And how do you approach this game? I mean, it's the super regionals, it's the playoffs. I'm curious how the coaches are talking to their team, how the guys are responding. Now, this is a big stage. This is a not quite one and done, but you're close to that situation. You want to get to the next level of World Series. How do you approach this? Differently, mentally, more emotionally? Try to go low-key? It's just another game, play our baseball. I'm curious how Coach Wasikowski is going to approach these guys as he gets ready, talks to them just an hour before they take the field.
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked about that. We'll hear later on from Joey Mack, who's going to be on the call for that game. We had that exact discussion. Is different coaches have different philosophies. Some coaches would say, just another game, guys. It's 4 quarters or it's 9 innings, whatever it may be. Some coaches say, no. This is it.
Yeah.
This is what you play for. And sometimes that bleeds over into how the players affect the game and the DNA of the team. And it seems like Oregon players, as they've talked to the media throughout the week, have kind of said, no, we're not shying away from the fact that it's a big game. But we also know in hindsight, because of the big game experience they have in years past, that it is just a 9-inning game. I mean, you heard Maddox Maloney talk on the program this week about how he looks back at that 2024 experience at Texas A&M in the Super Regionals where the Ducks just came up short. And he said, at the time it felt like it was everything. Then looking back, it was just a 9-inning baseball game that the Ducks have been doing at such a high level this season.
Yeah, don't let it be bigger than it is. And a guy that will help that is Drew Smith. I mean, Drew Smith's been there. The leadership on a team like this, it's a very veteran ball club. I don't think they're going to get in that Nebraska game with the fan base behind them. I'm confident that this is not going to be too big. Not at all.
And another name that's going to really help this team from a leadership perspective and experience is Ryan Cooney. And he spoke to the media earlier this week about his mindset for this game, his leadership, and how Oregon can get the job done against the Texas Longhorns.
Or move on to Texas, in-state guy. What did it mean to knock out Oregon State in that regional in front of PK Park?
Yeah, first of all, I think the atmosphere was unbelievable. In my time here, it was probably the best it's been. But yeah, the implications for the game, I think we did a good job at focusing just on what we needed to do. And obviously it's nice to beat a program like that because, they're really good. And we have a lot of respect for them. But just for us to get our job done at home in front of our fans was really, really important to us.
Similarly, you've been in big environments on the road, been in big environments at home, How have you and the entire team maybe been able to handle those environments? Some of the lessons to now take on the road to Texas?
I think we've grown a lot. Specifically, I think Nebraska this year in the Big Ten tournament against Nebraska was really, really important for us. Not only to play against a great team, but also to play in front of a hostile crowd that was really good. And we showed out, and I think we learned a lot from that experience. And then the guys that have been here also have learned a lot from my first year when we were at Texas A&M. That was a different experience than we had been used to, and it was a learning moment for sure. And I think we've grown a lot and are ready for that challenge coming forward.
From that experience a couple years ago, anything more specifically, whether it's you personally, where you feel like you guys as a group can take from that you really want to try to implement this week?
Yeah, for me personally, even not necessarily being on the field as much during that time, but still just understanding how important, each other is and the dugout really is in those moments. Because if you get wrapped up in the fans and the loud noises and what they're trying to do to you, then you're going to lose. And I think we've been able to handle that and grow as a group, specifically those guys that obviously experienced that, but also the younger guys who experienced Nebraska this year, for example, and PK Park as well.
Flashing back to the regional and the environment, for us up in the press box, it looks the same. We're looking out at the 9U guys for every game. How different does it look like for you visually with your unique vantage point when you're playing in the field at second base and it's that type of environment like it was this weekend? Can you put it into words?
For me, it's awesome. I think the best word I could describe is just it's amazing. It's awesome. It's when you're feeling down at any point, you have those fans to back you up, and it's really, really fun. And PK Park, I think, doesn't get a lot of credit for what it really is, and I think it showed out specifically this last weekend. And it's been really, really important for the national media and everybody to see what this program's doing and how it's grown so much in these past years.
Right. This group has been playing some pretty incredible baseball over the last couple of months, but to go into the Eugene Regional, to sweep, come out undefeated, Eugene Regional champions, What does that do for a team like this heading into super regional play? And I'm just wondering, just how confident is this locker room feeling right now with the way that this team has been playing over the last several weeks?
Yeah, I think, I think it started in Nebraska and maybe even before that against USC. But when we were able to face UCLA again in the Big Ten championship, it was a feeling of we knew that we could beat anybody in the country. Obviously, we came up short in that game, but just being able to build off that into this last weekend has been really, really important. And I think there's not a team across the way or any other opponent that we would face that we feel we can't compete with or beat. And it's really just been about us as a team. And I think we've grown specifically in that realm the most of just being with each other than, playing the score or playing another team.
Yeah, Will Sanford in that Nebraska game really seemed to feed off the crowd. He said he kind of acts the same way during scrimmages, so he's just kind of always brings kind of the heat. What, from your vantage point, seeing him kind of pitch in that atmosphere, and obviously probably another one on the way, how do you think he goes about kind of dealing with that and rising to the occasion?
Yeah, I think the coolest part for me watching as a teammate and just being behind him is like he's very confident in himself, and I think that's why he performs so well at that level. Being able to have that type of energy, which is true. He mentioned he does in scrimmages, it's true. There's nobody in the stands. There's 15,000 people in the stands. He's doing it the same way regardless, and that makes it really easy for me to back him up and just be, honestly just watch and enjoy the performance that I get to watch. So I'm not surprised by the stuff that he's doing right now, and I don't think it'll stop at this rate.
Talking about the balance of your lineup, it felt like in the first game it was the top 4 in junior, and then in the last 2 games it was the bottom 3. It felt like everybody was so balanced. If you look at the composite numbers, just what does it say about the length of your lineup when you look at the regional as a whole? And 1 through 9, the stats are almost identical across the order. Just what does it say about the length of your lineup?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think it makes it really tough for an opposing pitching staff to game plan against us specifically. I mean, you got 3 freshmen that are elite and are gonna do great things, and then you have some older veteran dudes that know how to put up a good AB when you need it. Drew, good example against Oregon State. Backside line drive for an RBI. He comes up in spots and getting Jax to produce again has been really, really important for us, and I think that's gonna. Not only our lineup was doing great beforehand, but just elevate it that much more. And we got guys coming off the bench that are also fantastic. I mean, we're confident with those dudes any spot, anytime. So it makes it really easy to know that you got guys to pick you up and you don't have to do it all yourself.
And Will was in here. He spoke about having confidence in you guys behind him when he's on the mound and the performances that he has. Just talk a little bit about the confidence that you have in him to be able to not only have those good performances, but be able to battle out of those tough positions and get out of some tough jams that you've seen him be able to battle out of.
Yeah, I think it starts with his work. Like he works at an elite level. And I'm glad he mentioned he has confidence in us because, I have the same in him. And I think it's funny, like, we just kind of build off each other in that way. Like, all the infielders, outfielders, guys in the dugout are all pulling for him at once and every guy on the mound. So it makes it comfortable, I think, enough for him to just go be him. And he's elite. And I think it makes it easy for those performances to show up when we need them.
Yeah, the camaraderie between the Oregon pitching staff. They got a big challenge this weekend taking on the Texas Longhorns. When we come back, we'll hear from man that's going to be on the call for the Ducks and the Longhorns in Austin. Joey Mack joins us next on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Friday, Toyota says let's put good times in gear with the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runner. Want some cool available features? We've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide that's the champ of the ramp. Heck, we might even cancel Monday. Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
We're back live in the Country Financial Studio. This is Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Chris Clayton and Jerry Allen here with you. We're going to hear from Joey Mack in just a moment. Jerry, I want you to watch this one at the end of it, especially closely. Joey had some really nice things to say about you, okay? And he wasn't joking. He was serious. He was not being sarcastic.
Are you sure Scott Phillips didn't already edit those out?
Yeah, I deleted it.
He deleted those. All right, I'm anxious to see
All right,
this
I
now.
promise. And he had some good insight on the Ducks taking on the Longhorns in the Super Regional, as well as Joey Mack joined us from Austin. Live from Austin, Texas, joining us here on Duck Insider, the final Duck Insider, it is Joey Mack. Joey, thanks for taking the time to chat with us ahead of this big Super Regional this weekend.
Well, a couple things. First of all, one, great to do so. I like the fact that I'm not there in studio for the last show because that means we've got Super Regional baseball, right? Like, it's so funny. I heard from so many people over the last couple weeks, you're scheduling meetings, like we're planning for the show, right? And they were all like, hey, don't take this the wrong way, but we really hope you're not in this meeting. And we also really hope you're traveling for a long time. And I just said, I appreciate that perspective. I like that everyone's starting to think about it that way. And it means that we get to hang out with you more. And Jerry's in the studio. And Scott gets to hang out with you guys instead of dealing with me. It's all good.
Yeah, and that's part of the deal when you're broadcasting for a team like you are, is you hope that you get to work deeper into the summer because that means, hey, maybe they made the College World Series. And that's exactly what is at stake for Oregon, which is, it just feels fitting for them to be back in Texas. Obviously such a strong part of the country, that region of the country in terms of collegiate baseball programs, but to be there when they were playing Texas A&M a couple years ago, and now they're back taking on the Longhorns again. It just feels right. It feels like such a great opportunity for so many reasons.
I feel like maybe I've said this over the last week more than I should, but I was actually just talking to the Austin flagship radio station. I was on one of their morning shows today. And they asked me, like, hey, well, tell us about the team, like where have they been over the years? And I was like, well, this is 6 straight years the Ducks have been to postseason. I mean, every year there's been a postseason that Waz has been the head coach. Oregon's been in postseason. And now in 2 of the last 3 years, we're talking about super regionals. And it's really pretty amazing to sit and look and go through the history of this team. And then I even go back to being in super regionals with that Oral Roberts game, or those Oral Roberts games, I should say. And it's funny, like every program I feel like takes steps, and every coach will say that, every team is different. But for a guy like Drew Smith, that's been to postseason 4 times, right, has been on 3 now all regional teams, all regional tournament teams, including this year in Eugene. Like, that's a guy that has been through that aforementioned Texas A&M series. He's been through all of this, and I just can't help but think that there's something to when you hear people talk about programs learning how to win and winning in these environments and winning in these games. I just get the feeling that Oregon's taken those steps. They go to Texas A&M a couple years ago, as you alluded to, and Waz has said a couple times publicly that he thought that was the best baseball environment that he's seen and that the Ducks have been in and he's coached in. Okay. There's some connection there, right? Jim Schlossnagel's now the head coach at Texas. He was the head coach at Texas A&M. And
Now here we are back in the state of Texas for Super Regional, to your point, Chris. And I know maybe I've said this too much. Maybe this narrative won't matter. But I feel like this is a program that's taken steps. And even like Ryan Cooney, who you heard from on the show, Maddox Maloney, who you heard from on the show this week, those guys were in lesser roles as freshmen in that Texas A&M Super Regional, but they still went through it. They saw the way that the veterans of that team handled it. And I just think there's so many reasons that Oregon has continued to take steps forward. And this is now maybe the last big step to take is getting to Omaha. And then we're all going to be sitting here talking about winning in Omaha, right? There's these stepping stones that you take as a program. And I just feel like Oregon continues to climb that staircase. And they've done it at a relatively consistent pace. I mean, I know you look back at last year, Chris, and it's like, well, Oregon didn't win the Eugene Regional last year. I get that. But the Ducks still hosted, had some weird stuff go against them in that series. Like, that's baseball. It's going to happen. And Oregon really overcame that last weekend in the regional. So, look, that was a long-winded answer to your question. I just feel like Oregon's continued to step up this staircase. And this is now one more step to take, which is getting a super regional win against a good Longhorns team.
Yeah. And every coach and every program kind of has a different mentality when it comes to these big games that are the topic of conversation right now with Duck fans is, can they get it done against Texas? Some coaches will say, oh, let's just execute. It's just another game. Some coaches say, no, it's not just another game. It means more. What's kind of the mentality for this team and how they're mentally approaching this game?
It's interesting. You're right. Like, there's always kind of, you go one of two ways, right? And Waz is one that's always acknowledged, like, hey, these games are big. Like you can't hide from it, right? Like, I'm sitting here thinking about that, like, you can't hide from it. And I like that Waz is always one that just says what it is. Then, though, in the approach when you're actually on the mound and when you're actually in the box, I go back to something that I talked to Jack Martyr about, the Oregon assistant coach. He filled in as the head coach for Waz during the last regular season game, remember? And so I had him on the Toyota Coaches Corner, and he said, to me, like, you acknowledge it, and part of acknowledging that these games are big allows you to then just talk about keeping everything the same in your actual approach. It's funny the way that the mental game starts to really come through at this point, right? Like, Kelly Graves was just in the studio, so I'm going to use an example from him. Like, he's one too. Chris, you're around him all the time now. Like, that guy just acknowledges what it is, right? Like, I think in some ways you just have to do that. And then that allows student athletes to slow down in that moment where you do have to recognize that it's huge, but also it's still a baseball game. And Ryan Cooney and Maddox Maloney both even said that this week. Like, it's still just a baseball game. It's still just a baseball game. It's a baseball game with a bunch of people wearing burnt orange yelling against you. It's a baseball game against, a couple guys that are pretty darn talented on the mound, a few guys that are really talented in the box for Texas. Still just a baseball game. And good baseball, I think, is what we're going to see here coming up this weekend.
Right. What is the scouting report on this Texas team? I mean, the simple answer is they're really good, but what makes them tick and what's going to make them a big challenge?
Well, they put up some video game type numbers offensively. So has Oregon at times. But it is a Texas team, though, that looking at their schedule, you and I kind of broke down, like, they've only played 2 more ranked games than Oregon, and they have 2 more ranked wins than Oregon. But very, very similar. The statistics are eerily similar between the two teams. Same amount of wins coming into the Super Regional. Very similar ERA. Very similar WHIP. One thing, though, that does stick out to me and that you and I didn't talk about on Wednesday, Chris, is they're a very patient offense. They are a really, really good team in terms of plate discipline. Like, they'll take pitches, they'll walk. And why I bring that up is I think that will be a key now that I've kind of thought about this more and being around the team. Like, I do think that's going to be a key is those fringe pitches. I think if you can locate those fringe pitches, if you're Oregon's pitching staff, the Ducks are going to be successful. Similarly, though, they like to knock starters out early because they take a lot of pitches. And I think those are both, just looking at the stats over the course of the whole season, that's going to be a real key in this one. Like, how do you win those 3-2 counts? Or maybe more importantly, do you win those critical 1-1 counts on the mound and turn it to 1-2 against a Texas hitter that likes to take close pitches? I think that's going to be a key in this game. They do work a lot of counts. It's going to be a key the whole weekend.
And I assume you haven't been able to spend a lot of time outside yet, but since you've touched down, what's the weather like? I mean, you can't help but think that might be a factor. This time of year there, it can be hot. I understand it can be humid. It's something that, let's just be honest, Texas players probably a little bit more accustomed to it than Ducks players. How do you think that could be a factor?
I do think that it's a factor, and I actually love that Ryan Cooney and Maddox Maloney both talked about that this week. Like I was hot at Texas A&M 2 years ago, and I'm in a broadcast booth, right? Like it is a reality, and so I think that, you know, one, being aware of it, right, the hydration going into it, and really the thunderstorms. I think I'm one that you never want to start a game if there's, and you look, it's hard to be a meteorologist. Like I don't want to play that game. I don't want to have to do it. But the truth is, like, I think both head coaches, especially on Saturday, like, you don't want to start a game and then stop it in the third inning and then have your starter be burned for that day, right? And honestly, nobody in baseball wants that. Like, I think we'd all rather wait and play the game when you don't have a stoppage that could ruin a starting pitcher, right? What I mean by that is, like, if a starting pitcher ends up sitting for an hour and a half because of a thunderstorm delay, he's probably not going to be able to come back. You're not going to keep his arm warm, right? And that changes the calculus for the whole series, and that's not what you want. You want these teams to be at their best. I realize it's baseball, it's an outdoor sport, et cetera, but you want the teams to be at their best. You know, that's what I want. I think that's what we all want, because these super regionals are supposed to be that high level of entertaining. And I think they will be. I think this one will be. So it is at least something to keep in mind. It's humid. It's been gusting winds of about 10 miles an hour. I'm curious how that will play in the ballpark, right? Like, are we going to have a heavy, humid type of day and the wind is blowing in, and maybe it becomes even more of a pitcher's duel? And again, in that case, then do you win the 1-1 counts? Are you going to play a little bit more small ball? I think it's still a little too early to tell that, but it's something at least that Ryan and I will be watching during pregame and warm-ups and all the things. And then, of course, we'll go through that, and everything that we say will not come to fruition because that's just the way that baseball works.
Absolutely. Man, it's going to be fun. I cannot wait to tune in and take in the Ducks and the Longhorns. We're going to hit a break and come back and talk with Jerry about his year in review and his favorite moments. I didn't warn you I was going to ask you this, but what was your favorite Jerry-specific moment to this past year? You can narrow it down, that you can say on the air.
There. Thank you. I appreciate the qualifier there. Gosh, my favorite Jerry-specific moment. Oh, shoot. I was not prepared for that. I've got like my list of 5 that I could hit you with. I mean, I'll go back to football, like as we kind of review the year. I have a couple great memories of Duck Insiders with concession food on Fridays that are pretty doggone entertaining. I think we could just group all that into one group memory. And going on another college football playoff run. I mean, look, I will just say, Jerry, I know that you're going to be listening to this. So watching Jerry and Jorgie be kids at heart during playoff football is exactly what my soul needs every single December and January now. Like, and Dusty and I have talked about this. Like the road trips and the vibes are so fun, and it's because of those guys. Like, the youngest person on the broadcast crew is Jerry Allen.
I love it.
That's what I'm going to take away from everything. I mean, you agree? You're around all the time,
yes. Right? He says stuff like, this never gets old. You can feel his passion. You can feel his spark. And you just see it. And he's got the genuine joy every day to broadcast and be a part of these. So I
it's
agree.
So fun.
Yeah.
It's in that. So I can't even give you like specific, ones, but I'm hoping for more and more deep runs in the postseason, much like everyone's asking me with baseball, right? Like, we hope you're gone a lot. I hope that the overlap season for you and me during basketball is significant with football.
Right.
I still am a believer. I agree with Coach Lanning that the calendar for football does need to move up for a lot of reasons that we don't need to go into today. We could do an entire Duck Insider on that. But I do think that needs to happen. However, what we have now is that the national championship will be in late January, and it'd be awesome to be there. And I think the Ducks have a great chance. I mean, you look at who's coming back. Dante Moore's a cover athlete for a video game. I mean, that's all those things are factoring in, at least in my mind here. And you know, I had a couple people ask me about, you know, ending the show when we do and continuing it. And the truth is, like, we have to pick an end date, and we've usually done it right around the track and field championships because those are the last events. And there's not a whole lot for people like you and I to talk about around the Ducks over the summer. And so on a day like today, when we also then get to have a deep baseball run, that just makes it fun that we can finish it up maybe even on Sunday and then continue to Omaha, right? The way that the schedule falls. So that's how we'll handle it. And I'm hoping for more and more of these sorts of conversations where we have those deep runs. You know, I think we're going to have a few more of these deep runs. Oregon's continued to be pretty successful in a lot of different sports. And, you know, I give a lot of credit to the coaches and the student athletes that have made people like you and I sound pretty darn good on the air here of late.
Yes, the more wins, the better. Well, everybody's really excited. I cannot wait to tune in to you and Ryan Milano on the call. I know you got work to do, getting ready for the game, so thank you so much for joining us, taking the time.
Well, I appreciate it. And to all the Duck fans, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being along with us. And we look forward to being back on the air. I look forward to being back on the air in August. Chris will be along for the ride with us. Jerry, of course, Georgie, Dusty, everybody. We look forward to it. Ryan and I hope for a long run here on the road, and we'll have it for you. But thanks to everybody for all year long. I know Chris and Jerry will wrap it up and have some fun looking down memory lane, but it's been another fun year. And I, for one, am really excited for another year coming up.
Yeah, back live now in the Country Financial Studio, and Jerry is now here, and I love that quote, the youngest person on the broadcast team.
Oh, I wish.
Jerry.
Well, you know, thanks for the compliments, Joe. You need to know, Chris, you need to know this too, and I think you understand that you are what your team is, okay? You're never by yourself. And Georgie is part of – Georgie and I have always had a great staff around us. I mean, through the years, we just have always clicked. Everybody's worked together, loved each other. Scott Phillips is a part of this, too, here in the studio. I mean, you know, Scotty and I go back a long ways. But we are, or I am, or Georgie is what we are because of the people around us. If they're not good, if they don't work, if they're not family, we don't work. And you hear we don't work. That's just the way it is. It's true. Chris, you're part of that now, too, upstairs helping us out. So you're a broadcaster. You know how important Bev Smith is, how important, you know, your staff, your staff people are. Right. It's a dream job. I would do it for free. Ooh, I didn't mean to say that. I was got to edit that part out. Yeah, but it's that much fun. The fans too. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I cannot wait to hear some of your favorite memories from this past year. We're going to have a highlight package reviewing the season. We'll have that more here in the final Duck Insider. We continue our discussion with Jerry Allen, talking Ducks football next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously. The best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, coming in the back half here of the final Duck Insider until summer break. We'll be back August 1st. Still have Duck broadcast ahead with the Oregon Baseball Super Regionals and hopefully College World Series coming up as well. But wow, it's amazing to get to this point, and it's always fun to bring you into studio and to kind of reminisce on what was from this season in Oregon football. I mean, you've been part of a lot of Oregon football seasons, some incredible, magical moments over the course of your career. What stood out to you from this last season?
Wow, it's so hard, Kristen, and you know this when people ask you about a softball. How do you pare down a certain or a handful of plays? It's hard to do. One that is one of my highlight plays this year, which was a catch. What was not called a catch was J. Mack at Washington when he pinned that football on his helmet. That was a catch. It was a catch. I'll die on that hill. There's no doubt about it, even though it was not ruled a catch. So that moment, I go early Penn State. I know Dylan Thienemann's interception to end that ball game and give Oregon the win. The whiteout was just something I'd never seen before. To live, it was special. It really was special. But what was lost in that game, I think, because of the interception, was the quarterback play in that game. And I'm going to tell you what, I just think that Dante Moore probably should have been the player of the game and the highlight of that game, because on his touchdown pass, the edge rush came into him, and Oregon scored that final touchdown to put him ahead that Penn State couldn't answer. The edge rusher came in and got to him, and he just made a little juke and stepped around him and threw that touchdown pass. It was a magnificent play that kind of got lost in the touchdown and then the interception. That was one. Was it Benson's 22-yard catch at Iowa? Late, time running out. Again, Dante Moore, laser shot right there, perfect, great comeback catch, gave Oregon a chance to kick the field goal and win that game. But I could go on, but there's some of them. And just getting to the first time ever, the Peach Bowl, first time ever in the Orange Bowl, and those memories, but they're all good.
Yeah, and some of the context of those is amazing, too, to have Dante Moore trying to kind of cement himself with the nation's elite quarterbacks. Yeah. And he makes a play like that. Oregon has some injuries in the receiving core, and Malik Benson steps up and makes a catch like that. I mean, just the narrative and the storylines that go through every season is pretty beautiful to look back on.
One of the best tight ends Oregon will ever have, and we keep adding to that list.
Right.
Kenyon Sadiq. Yes. Kenyon Sadiq made some sick catches and runs this year. So, there's – it could go on and on.
Yeah, some of the plays he made, I mean, he made them look easy, but an incredible talent. And, he one of the many players that made big plays over the course of the season. Let's listen back, actually. We heard Jerry reminisce on it, but let's listen back on the big moments from this last Oregon football season that was another special one for the Ducks.
Well, it was a historic year. 2024, undefeated regular season, Big Ten champions. Oh, the memories. But that was last year. The Leaves are beginning to admit they don't have much time left. But Duck fans, you got lots of time to enjoy Duck football in 2025. Back to throw, quick one-man screen, and get away from the tackle at the 10. Walk it in. Touchdown, Gary Bryant Jr. Snap back to throw. Rolling to his left, sets up, going deep, and he's got him, Ja'Cory Moore with a catch. Inside on his feet at the 15. Are you kidding me? Touchdown! And a throw this time. The pressure comes. Well, it's picked again. Peyton Woodyard, take it home. Bang! There's the final 59-13 Oregon. The victory over Montana State, a 69-3 victory over Oklahoma State. Hill going right, behind a block, cuts it up, he's got some speed, he may go, 40, down to the 30 on his feet, nobody gonna catch, Deer Hill, touchdown Oregon, nobody gonna catch him. I love that guy, man. Final score, 34-14. Oregon will go back home with a nice, comfortable record. Oregon State coming in. 2 wideouts each way, and one comes back to the formation. This is going to be play action throw. Looking for somebody downfield. Wide open, Gary Bryant Jr. 3-2. Touchdown, Gary Bryant Jr. And the rivalry game, the last one for at least a year, will end Oregon 41, Oregon State 7. Our final score, 2 top 10 teams, both undefeated, 100,000 plus. Going to be all wearing white on the road for the Ducks. Oregon, it's Penn State. Same series that we just had in the first overtime. And back, and going to throw. Step up away from the rush. Throws it. Got him wide open to the 10. 2-yard line. Touchdown, Gary Bryant Jr. on the first offensive play. Aller going to throw. Steps back. Swings it down. It is intercepted. Oregon pick. Ducks win. Ducks win. Interception by Dylan Thieneman.
What did you learn about this team coming into a hostile environment and playing the way that they did?
They can handle it, right? They can handle it. We probably got to carry a couple more 4th and 1 calls, though. Right? We went through the Rolodex.
I want to say it was close. It sort of was. But then it wasn't. Indiana 30. Oregon 20.
Get knocked down, get back up. And that's oftentimes the best way that you learn lessons about how to get better. And that's what this opportunity is here today with Rutgers.
Whittington behind him, gets the handoff going left. Cuts it up, nice big run. Inside the 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Noah Whittington. Zeros on the clock, 56-10. And the Oregon fans down below, look at all of them. Incredible performance. And turn it, hand it off. Davison going to get the edge and cut it inside for the touchdown. Jordan Davison, and Oregon's got a score on the board with 1:07 left here in the first half.
Nice drive, 99 yards for that touchdown.
Final score, Oregon 21, Wisconsin 7. Your Ducks 7-1 on the year, 4-1 in Big Ten play, bye week, and then to Iowa. Iowa still has the lead. Oregon with 1:51 remaining. 3 timeouts.
Our guys just needed one more second, one more opportunity, and they went out there and took care of business that last drive.
It'll be 3rd down and 2. Whittington, the running back. He gets the ball up the middle. Powell running to the 36. That's a first down. Dante waits for the snap. Got it back to throw. Wants to go deep down the right-hand side. It is caught. Benson inside the 30. Is it a grab? It is. First down at the 27-yard line of Iowa with 23 seconds remaining. A 39-yard field goal try for what could be the game winner. Sappington ready. Ferguson Reynolds says snap it. Does. Places it. Kick is on the way up. It's long enough. It looks. Go! Atticus Sappington has given Oregon the lead.
And they all handled it with poise. And then for Atticus to come up with that kick, man, just tells you he's got ice in his veins.
Davison to the left, and this could be a pass. Back to throw. Look at, swing it right. It is caught. Sadiq way up the ladder. Get it out of the air. Bring it down with a toe tap. Touchdown, Oregon. Kenyon Sadiq. Final score. Oregon 42, Minnesota 13. Kick away, nice one, going to be returnable. Benson from the 16, left side, got room, 30, speed to the 40, sideline 50, sideline 40 the other way. He might go, he will go all the way. Touchdown. Bryce Betcher, 3 defensive guys in the game. Snap, going to keep it, run right. Oh, no doubt. Touchdown, Bryce Betcher. Touchdown, Oregon. What a win for this Oregon football team. Yes, 42-27. Kind of a statement against a very dangerous offensive USC team. Pressure comes, steps up, throws down the middle. It is caught. 45-yard line, 40, down across the 30. May score. 10, 5, touchdown, Oregon. Oh, my gosh, how quick can that happen? It's a win in Seattle against the Dogs, and the Ducks are now 11-1, and the Ducks are still playing football. This is the first real, honest-to-goodness playoff game. Winner advance, loser, season over. That's how big this game is.
Excellent James Madison team.
It's the kept it. Going right. Could score. Will score. Dante Moore. Touchdown, Oregon. Comes the pressure. Wide open downfield. Benson. Touchdown. It looked like a practice play. College football playoff. First round game goes to the Oregon Ducks. 51-34 to the quarterfinals of the CFP. Oregon and Texas Tech. First down, Oregon. At the 6, Davison beside Dante. Snap, pitch to Davison, going right with some blocks inside. Touchdown, Oregon. Davison with some blocks. Back to throw. Looking left. Throws it left. And it is intercepted in the end zone. Knee it down, Brandon Finney Jr. and give your team the football back. A remarkable performance by this Oregon football team. The tougher team by far, and they showed it emphatically. 23 zip Oregon, and Indiana has won the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl here in Atlanta, and they did it surprisingly easily given that Oregon helped them.
And you heard for those guys. The world's going to judge everybody in that room based on the result tonight, right? I'm going to judge those guys on the kind of fathers they become someday, the kind of husbands they become someday. But in this moment, you feel like a failure, right, for them, and they're not failures. These guys won a lot of damn ball games. They had a lot of success. They've changed some people's lives.
It just gives you goosebumps listening back. And unfortunately, every team in the country, except one, has to end their season on a loss, regardless of who it is. And it gives it a sour note. But, I mean, you look at that season, 13 wins. The only team to beat them was one of the best teams probably in college football history.
Yeah. No, I mean, give them credit. I mean, Illinois was that good, or Indiana, rather, was that good. And I would love to have seen a completely healthy Oregon team.
Right.
I'm sure Indiana would have been be completely healthy too. But, hey, great season, great memories forever.
That's right. And right around the corner coming up, we're going to be grinding, getting ready for next season. When we come back, we'll talk about that. What are we looking forward to for next football season? That's just a few months away on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider on the final Duck Insider on this Friday, June 5th, until we come back August 1st, getting ready for fall camp. Chris Clayton, the voice of the Ducks, Jerry Allen here with you. And, man, just we're hearing that highlight package before the break, looking back on last season. And that's coming up soon. I mean, blink your eyes, put your head on the pillow, and wake up, and we're going to be the first week of September and back in football season. What are you looking forward to for next year's squad?
Well, I'm looking forward to, Dante Moore. I mean, how will he grow? How can he get better? Well, certainly there are ways that he can get better. He'll be more mature, but he was so good last year. It'll be difficult to see how he could step up and be even better, but he will. He's still got the weapons around him. Evan Stewart's coming back. That's huge. Jamari Johnson, I don't think people realized how good he was last year. He's another Kenyon Sadiq. He just is. Dier Hill, Devin Jackson, inside linebacker. I've liked him last year. I think he's going to be great. Janoris Wilson, wide receiver this year. Oh, okay. Well, I know he's an offensive lineman, but they did throw to him, remember?
Yes.
I'm surprised somebody didn't say something about that.
I was a little late on that.
Yeah.
Like, Jerry, I'm not sure about that one.
And then Chris Hampton and Drew Maringer, offensive and defensive coordinators this year. There's a lot on both sides of the ball. Experience, quality. And last year was supposed to be a really good year, but I don't think a lot of people preseason put Oregon that far into the playoffs. So Oregon, I thought, really went beyond what their expectations were last year. Expectations this year are going to be higher. They should be. They're that good. That's what coaches brought in.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to as well that you might even have mentioned that the front four defensively, just the game wreckers, the opposing quarterbacks and offensive lines, they're going to have to be absolutely stressing, preparing for, and then having to play against Mateo Uiagalelei and Tatum Tuioti and Amari Washington, and trying to open up holes in the run game, but even more importantly, probably protecting their quarterback and just the big sacks and hopefully strip sacks that we're going to see this season. I think it's going to be special.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the most special year of Oregon football ever, and they've had some great ones. But you don't want to put the expectations too high. It's just a season, first game. That's all you look forward to. Can't wait to get through that, and then we'll take each week as it comes. But I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Well, and you hear some of the mantras around Oregon football. They say, hey, that pressure, that expectation, it's a privilege, and they've earned that privilege and that right to be talked about at the highest of stages. So, man, it's going to be fun. And when Duck Insider returns August 1st, we're going to have a lot of the same discussions, and it's going to be a lot diving into what is to come for Oregon football in the upcoming season. We'll take a break and come back and recap on the final Duck Insider, what was in this year in Duck sports, but also get you ready for the Oregon Baseball Super Regionals on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, this is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Credit Union in the final Duck Insider until we come back August 1st, and it'll be a summer break. And, I think this show is so cool to be able to air daily for fans, 1 to 2 p.m. every day, live to our affiliates that carry this show, to those that maybe watch online. They watch on Facebook or YouTube or X, on any social media platform. Maybe you don't watch live and you watch after the fact. I think this is a special program to be able to get a look behind the curtain at Duck Sports and stay up to date. So thank you to all the fans that tune in throughout the year and make this an engaging and allowing the show to exist.
Yeah, what you're getting as a fan, not a lot of schools across the nation have this kind of a show in this kind of a studio and a setting. You get to hear from the athletic directors, associate athletic director, coaches, players, staff, everybody around the University of Oregon and athletics and the other side of the river as well. We're all one. You hear them on this show. And so you get a lot of insight, and you get to know people's lives, not just the player or not just the athletic director, but his family and this is a special show. Joey does a tremendous job with it, so
yes.
I love it.
And Joey Mack, and behind the scenes, obviously Scott Phillips, who, he's not always behind the scenes. You see him all the time, but he is a huge part of this show. Saul Galvan and other interns are a huge part of making this show tick. Ryan Milano, obviously hosting the show all the time, and all those that have appeared on it. It's always fun, and before we know it, we'll be back once again. And I think right now on our minds, Jerry, is this Oregon Baseball Super Regional tomorrow at 5 p.m. You got to think, I think if you could just narrow it down, a key to me is just avoid mistakes. Don't commit any errors. No, mental errors on the base pass. Don't walk batters. Don't hit batters. Give yourself a chance in the closing innings, and the pressure could be on Texas.
Yeah, there are a lot of years and a lot of teams, a lot of playoffs when you go in saying, we need a little help, need a little luck. Maybe the other team's not going to play well. Maybe we'll play up or something. This is not one of those baseball teams. This baseball team is good enough. They've got everything they need to get to the World Series and to win the World Series. Got to do it one game at a time, next step, but they're that good. They don't need help. They're that good. So it's just a game. Just one day.
Yes. And I think people are going to be absolutely locked in. It's a chance to make some history. Oregon baseball comes back, and they've been so close that just making it to the Super Regionals, obviously an accomplishment. But I know head coach Mark Wazakowski and company, they have their sights set high. Ever since these players have stepped on campus, that's been the focus, is to make it to the College World Series. And they've got a huge opportunity to do so there in Texas. And something we haven't talked about on this show yet, an opportunity for a little bit of revenge. Coach Jim Schlossnagle, the head coach of Texas now, after he was a Texas A&M head coach. That's got to feel good for Waz to have another crack at that, right?
Oh, yeah, looking for it, as if he needs a reason, right?
That's right.
But that's just another reason. By the way, I want to mention the play of the year. Elise Sokolski's play of that line drive, double play in softball, play of the year.
There you go.
Play of the year in all sports. I wanted to get that in.
Love it. Well, thanks for everybody. Good luck to Oregon track and field as well next week at Hayward Field, the NCAA Championship. For Jerry Allen, I'm Chris Clayton. We'll be back with Duck Insider August 1st. Tune in to Oregon Baseball, 4:45, 5 p.m. on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate